review for The Rum Diary with Johnny Depp. And it's based on a book by Hunter S. Thompson. Now, he's not playing Hunter S. Thompson. He's playing a character called Kemp. I think it is he kind of somewhat based it on himself, though, because you can definitely see the connection to Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Now, in that movie, he is like years later. This is 1960, I believe. And American journalist Paul Kemp takes on a freelance job in Puerto Rico for a local newspaper during the 1960s, and struggles to find a balance between island culture and the expatriates who live there. I'm not sure you're an expatriate if you live there, if you're an American. It's a territory of the United States. But anyways, so this movie's kind of famous because he met Amber Heard on it. She is very gorgeous in the movie. You know, I could see why he fell for her. You know, she's fine. I know some people really don't like her as an actress. I thought she's fine in this. You know, she's very beautiful and she does it well. But Johnny Depp is amazing in this. I think he's really good. I've never seen this before. I've seen Fear and Loathing a long time ago. This is more of just a standard narrative, compared to Fear and Loathing, which is pretty crazy. He's just drinking a lot in this. The movie opens with him having a massive hangover in his hotel room. Pretty funny scene. Gets a knock at the door. He asks the guy, "Is it eggs?" He's kind of already doing his Hunter S. Thompson kind of thing. And the guy brings in the food. He's like chewing aspirin. The guy, it's in that poster. The guy looks at the fridge and it's all beat up and thrown to the ground. And he's like, "Oh, I had some trouble opening the mini bar." And then he's like, "It's the little key, not the big key." And he's like, "Oh." Then he opens it. He's like, "Thank you." Then he starts drinking. Then he goes to his job where he meets his boss, and it's basically this little newspaper rag that is going bankrupt. Richard Jenkins is his boss. Michael Rispoli becomes his friend, tells him not to look or talk about his toupee. He has this obvious toupee on his head. And he basically, he hires him. He's doing horoscopes and some other random stuff. He is, he says he's like a failed novelist. So he figured he'd try journalism for a few years, he says. He gets kicked out of his hotel after a week or so there by Richard Jenkins, because Richard Jenkins is like, you've drank 161 of the minibar, alcohol. And he's like, weren't they complimentary? And he's like, no, they are not. Because he's paying for his hotel room. So he says, next week you're out of there. So Michael Rispoli, who's a photographer at the newspaper, says, "Hey, you could stay at my place for $60 a month, I think." And so he does that. The place is a total mess. Pretty funny scene. He says to him, "I have a TV and a fridge." Or he says, "I kind of have a TV and I have a fridge." So he goes there. He says, "Okay, there's the fridge. Where's the TV?" And the TV's across the way. And he says, "Oh, well, the guy leaves it on all the time. His wife is deaf, and he turns it up all the way." And he's like, and I got two pairs of binoculars. In one scene, they're watching I think it's the Nixon Kennedy debates. Johnny Depp predicts that Kennedy will win, and he predicts that he will be killed too. And the guy's like, "How do you know that?" He's like, "Well, I do write horoscopes." I think it's a very entertaining movie. I know some people think it's a little boring. The narrative kind of twists and turns, and some things don't really get resolved, I'd say, but I really didn't mind it. It's kind of just like this character's adventure in Puerto Rico. He's actually trying to write some real articles about the poverty in Puerto Rico. There's all this corruption. Aaron Eckhart gets introduced. He wants Johnny Depp Kemp to write a kind of a puff piece for this new hotel that him and these other capitalists are going to build. In one scene, which I thought was pretty funny, he's at and Aaron Eckhart's very rich. You get the feeling he inherited a bunch of his wealth. He goes on to tell Kemp that like almost none of the corporations pay any taxes. There's all this corruption. This hotel they're gonna build, there's gonna be like little to no taxes. And Johnny Depp, he doesn't really like these people, but he's gonna pay him a bunch of money to do it. He wants him to sign like an NDA contract. But anyways, he kind of messes that up later. But you get the feeling Kemp really doesn't like these people, and I don't blame him. And like in one scene when he's at this guy's house, he meets this other guy who's an investor, I think, and he's also like ex-military. And he's Bill Smith Rovich, Mr. Zimberger. And he's talking to Johnny Depp while they're drinking, and he says, now I'm not going to use the word he uses, but he's talking about black people. He says 76.4% of all black people are controlled by Moscow. It's just hilarious. It's like, how'd you get to that number? It's like, so it's not 3/4, it's 76.4%. And Johnny Depp's just sitting there like, what is this guy talking about? And then, he starts going off about how we have to nuke Moscow, and we have to nuke them before they nuke us. And he goes on to Cuba, and he says we ought to bomb Cuba from the face of the earth. Let its people live in peace. So they're gonna bomb Cuba from the face of the earth, but the people on Cuba then will live in peace. It makes no sense. It's like, wouldn't you kill all them? But whatever. He says some other stuff in the scene, just pretty ridiculous and funny. I don't know. You almost maybe get the feeling that someone said that to Hunter S. Thompson at one point, but I just enjoyed the movie. I think when he's with Michael Rispoli, I think the movie's really good. Giovanni Ribisi's pretty hilarious in this. He's another journalist, and he is like a total hardcore alcoholic. They're like making like, I forget how they do it. They're like, he steals these like things that I think are like pure ethanol, and then he makes alcohol out of it. And he says it's 470 proof, and Johnny Depp's like, well, that's impossible. And so I don't know, it's the crazy high alcohol content. They're making it in Michael Rispoli's, shitty apartment, and Giovanni Ribisi is just pretty funny in this, and he just looks like he doesn't shower. He's constantly drunk. Richard Jenkins is his boss, and he hates him. He goes in to get his paycheck. Richard Jenkins fires him. Giovanni Ribisi starts screaming at him that he's going to put a curse on him because he knows this, like this witch doctor, this lady witch doctor, who he says is a hermaphrodite, and then later they actually do put a curse on. Oh well, they actually put a blessing on one of their chickens because they do cockfighting. Michael Rispoli's chickens, and then he wants to curse Aaron Eckhart, and I guess it's spoilers, but the movie came out over 10 years ago, so because Johnny Depp ends up messing up his deal with Aaron Eckhart because he goes to the island that they're going to build the resort on, but he brings Michael Rispoli. He's supposed to not tell anyone about this. And also Amber Heard's kind of flirting with Johnny Depp, and they have a big fight, Amber Heard and Aaron Eckhart. Then she goes to live with Johnny Depp. So Aaron Eckhart's like, okay, you messed this up. This is over. So, great performances by Depp. Whenever he's with Michael Rispoli, I think the movie's really good. Giovanni Ribisi is great in this also. And I'm not a massive Giovanni Ribisi fan, but I have to say he's very funny in this. Richard Jenkins is always good, you know. And Aaron Eckhart is a real POS in this, so which I think he knows how to play. Like kind of like Thank You for Smoking. In this, kind of like a rich pretty boy, not a nice guy. So but yeah, I liked it. I think this is Hunter S. Thompson. I think he published this in like 98, but he wrote it in the 60s. I guess he just didn't publish. I don't know why, but so that, yeah, Amber Heard, and I think she did a good job in this. I mean, I think she's fine, Johnny Depp and ex-wife Amber Heard first met while making the movie. They became a couple in 2012 after Depp separated from his longtime girlfriend, Vanessa Paradis. I don't even know who that is. That's another actress, I think. Depp and Heard were married in 2015, separated in May 2016, officially divorced, in January 2017. They're only together for like 2 years. After a very public court battle, which was Rain Antonio Depp sued. Okay, so then Depp sued Heard for defamation, and then there's all that. So Depp suspended his sobriety for the film in order to make the effects of liquors depicted. Okay. I'm not sure that's true because in the trial he was drinking apparently tons of wine. Like he has very expensive wine tastes, and they both seem kind of crazy, but she seems pretty bad though. So, but anyways, I don't know what's true, if she says it's what's true or if he says what's true, but I've always liked Johnny Depp as an actor. I think with Tim Burton, he just got too into just too far out characters, and I don't like his Willy Wonka. The first Pirates of the Caribbean's pretty good though. He's good at all of them. It's just the plots gets a little out of hand, but the first one is, I think, legitimately like a good movie, like a good adventure movie. So, but yeah, I like when he's kind of, he's still kind of quirky and weird in this, but it's not too out there. Like he's still, he's trying to write these articles. He's trying to get them done on time. Compared to Giovanni Ribisi and the other guy, Rispoli, he's actually like kind of on task, kind of. But yeah, I really liked it. This is the second time Johnny Depp appears in a movie adaptation of Hunter S. Thompson. The first time was Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. At the end, there's a tribute to Hunter S. Thompson, or it says, for Hunter or something. They show a picture of him because actually him and Johnny Depp were good friends, which is cool. At one point, Benicio del Toro was set to direct. Yeah, the director is Bruce Robinson. He also helped write the screenplay. I mean, he did a movie called was it Girl 8? Jennifer 8 in 1992. And he wrote some stuff in between. Just kind of a random person to choose as the director. I don't know, maybe Johnny Depp's friends with him. But to be honest, I thought he did a fine job. I mean, it's nothing that will blow you away with the direction, but it's got a nice, I think it's 1960. It's got a nice 1960 look. I mean, it's like basically the 50s, At one point, Johnny Depp gets a really sweet Corvette because Rib Spoli's, he has like a little tiny, kind of almost like a clown car, but I think it's a German car. And they get arrested. Aaron Eckhart bails them out. But then they like strip his car of doors, and that scene's pretty funny. They actually take out the seats and like just put like a bench in it, and then they have to drive it with Rispoli underneath Johnny Depp, and I thought that scene's pretty funny. So, but Aaron Eckhart, because he's super rich, he's like, well, like I need a car, and he's like, oh, okay, here, take this. He gives him this sweet Corvette, beautiful red Corvette, convertible. So there's some nice cinematography there with the island. I like how they point out some of the things about the haves and the have-nots. Like he's like this island, you can never see the ocean, because basically almost all of the coast is owned by these corporate hotels, which I thought was interesting to point out, because he's trying to write like a real article about corruption, but Richard Jenkins, who's his boss, says the people that read our newspaper don't care. They just want to know about the they don't care about the have-nots. They only care about the haves, and they want to be the haves. He says so. But yeah, and then at the end of the movie, he's Aaron Eckhart hates him, and he ends up stealing his boat. And he's gonna go. I think then he's gonna go north to Florida. Amber Heard ends up leaving. She gives Johnny Depp like $100. She leaves. She goes to New York. So it's a nice little movie. I always thought it looked a little boring, but I really liked it. At one point, Giovanni Ribisi, in a hilarious scene, he pulls out this drug. It's in a little vial. He's like, you just put a drop in your eye. And he's like, John Depp's like, well, what is it? And he's like, this is what they give to the communists. And he's like, who? He's like, the FBI. He's like, why would they give it to communists? He's like, well, I can't help you there. And it's like this hallucinogen. Him and Michael Rispoli do it. Michael Rispoli's tongue starts to get all huge. Depp tries to like rip out his tongue. That scene's kind of like Fear and Loathing, but anyways, check it out. I mean, I know it just kind of spoiled some things. I don't think it really matters though. This isn't like a narrative where ooh, there's a giant twist or something. No, not really. Just kind of like his life in Puerto Rico when he's trying to become a journalist. So, but yeah, I definitely liked it. Yeah, he works for the San Juan Star. So, but yeah, that's about it. I think I've never read any Hunter S. Thompson, but this kind of makes me want to. So, but yeah, that's about it. Um, like, comment, subscribe, and if you could do me a favor and smash that like button, that'd be great. Really helps the channel, and I'll see you next time.